Welcome to another episode of The Filler.
Yay.
How's everybody doing today?
Beautiful.
Beautiful?
Fun.
Smiling, beautiful faces. I feel like me and Kat are kind of like left out with the fact that we don't have an anime shirt on right now.
You're just slacking. That's your fault.
Literally just changed.
I have regrets because I actually do have that shirt, but
Yeah, I dropped the ball on that one. That's my fault. But just want to welcome everybody to The Filler. We have a beautiful episode today talking about all things weeb, anime, and streaming. I think Barry wants to be part of the podcast here. But yeah, my name is MARU, and I have my amazing co-host here with me, Prince of All Saiyans himself, Vegeta.
I love this kid.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy, NOGI Oxyfree. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Today we have a special episode. You guys already know that almost everyone here that's on this episode has had a discussion pertaining to the topic that we're talking about today. But we just got a little bit more insight with these lovely individuals that we have here, which I'm very, very, very happy to have on the show. Whoever is first, you can take it away. But first, we shall introduce. Drum roll, please. Anybody can take it. Just take the drum roll.
Cat would be first.
okay, I'll take it. Hi, I'm Cat Life.
How you doing, Cat? Just give us a usual insight for anybody who is new to the channel. What do you do? You know what I mean? What you talk about? What you play?
Yes, I'm a baby streamer here on Twitch. Baby. I used to work in video games, in particular, where Phoenix, where I had my passion for Japanese culture since I was a kid, anime since I was a kid. I may or may not have had a crush on Vegeta growing up, or Trunks, probably better. But, yes, I love talking everything we've, I'm always open for anime thoughts.
Nice. Trunks is definitely the go-to when it comes down to like childhood crushing. I don't know if it was like the high-waisted pants or the half jacket, but
I think it was the half jacket and the long hair. The long hair was really hot.
I think the long hair was pretty hot too. Trunks was pretty sexy, not gonna lie.
Trunks was the best looking DBZ character.
Super Saiyan 2, like beefy Trunks, or
No.
He's too thick.
He's streetwear Trunks.
Super Trunks was
Roid Rage.
That was that was a different breed. But next we're going to take it away with one of my dearest, one of my lovelies, Fifi.
Guys, how you doing? I'm Phoenix_Inferno. Previously of Mixer, now on Twitch. I play a variety of games, but I play a load of Destiny. We do stuff like PvE helps when we can. I like to play things ranging from Persona to Final Fantasy. Really, really anime-esque, if not like fantasy-style games are my absolute favorite. Motivation is definitely related to a lot of things, including one of my favorite books I used to read in high school was Fushigi Yugi, which was Mysterious Play, based on the four celestial beasts. And one of them happened to be the creature Suzaku, which is actually, the phoenix of that. And the priestess had to go and res the phoenix thing. And then, yeah, it's a really cool read. If you have the chance, like, definitely worth picking up, at least for back then. So that's one of the inspirations for the name, along with rising over stuff like depression. But we also have this place that we like to chill in called The Nest. There you go.
Nice. Very, very sweet. Very straightforward. I like that. That's why I like you, Fifi.
No, I like you.
Tell me like it is. Punch in my ear. I like it. All right. Moving on to the man, the myth, the legend, the guy, the number one hero himself. My guy, Kareem. How you doing, brother? What's going on, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you guys for having me. Anybody who doesn't know who I am, my name is KARIMCHEESE, formerly on Mixer. I was partnered until, we had to make the move to Twitch. So I'm here to tell you guys that I hope you guys are all having a great day. One of my favorite animes of all time is Samurai Champloo. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. If you didn't, Google it. It's amazing. Best soundtrack of all time. I'm telling you.
All time.
But yeah, man, I'm just happy to be here, and just happy to meet all of you guys and be here with Kat, Nogi, and the gang.
Nice. All right, good to get that general introduction from all of you guys. Again, me and Maru are very, very, very pleased to have you here on the show. This is our little project here. Well, this is Maru's project. I'm just tagging along by his coattails. And we are very humbly appreciative to have you guys on. Thank you again for stopping by. Kat, thank you for returning, right? With your lovely energy. So yeah, now that we've got the introductions out of the way, we are definitely going to go ahead and give it over to Maru, who will give us what it is that we have to do next. Maru, take it away.
So just what is that?
That's the Harlem Shake, bro.
Oh, I thought there was a roach on him.
Shut up.
Okay.
I don't got roaches.
He's uncultured.
Clean my house.
No, so we're just gonna do some anime talk, and I just want to get your guys' thoughts on some things. First, I want to know is what's the big anime everybody's watching right now? Because mine, I just want to say mine real quick, because I didn't read the webtoon for this, but somebody put me on God of High School, and oh my god,
it took 2 episodes. Oh my god,
it's so, I don't know what it is, man. The fighting, the characters, it's just, and it's funny.
It's beautiful though. Like the animation is beautiful.
Bro, the intro it's the thing about God of High School that really sold it for me was I had to come back for a second episode because watching the first episode, it has been so long. And when I say long, I'm talking about like back in Naruto days when Jiraiya fought Pain type, like long, right? It's been so long since I watched an episode of an anime and didn't realize that 30 minutes passed by. Like that's how that's not even a word. How enjoying the show itself was.
You
it
just
was
sucked
like,
into it, and just
I was
time just went like that.
Immediately immersed. I was immediately. It took no effort at all for me to just sink into the show. By far, it was amazing. It's amazing.
It's been so long since we've had like proper fighting arena anime. In fact, I can't remember the last one that came out that was actually really good. Like I always remember, we have Dragon Ball Z, we have Naruto, those had really good arena fights. But I'm like, what else?
No, I agree. I think I like the first episode where it's only been 2 episodes out, but where they were pretty much the old lady gets her purse stolen, and the guy, he just automatically assumes that like the money in her purse is for like some
that was the best
treatment, and he just starts crying, and he's like, I gotta do something, and then the girl has like the same exact thought process. I don't know what it is. It's just, I love an anime that has good fighting and good that it can add that, the writing, the comedy, when it can add that in and doesn't take away from the story, where you're just like, oh, what's the point of this? I really like it. And I feel like, I mean, obviously it's only 2 episodes in, but so far it's got me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love the female character and how she reacted to that bum guy. She was like, "Oh, I love muscles." I'm like, "Yes, girl. I feel you."
Well, yeah, because it's usually the other way around, where like, in animes the guys are always like all over the women, but this is like the first one where like the woman is kind of like obsessed with the guy's muscles or whatnot.
Right.
Weapons are refreshing. Like the openings for both God of High School and Tower of God are really not your typical anime openings, which I quite like. It's like fresh stuff. It's not quite fully anime. You can tell that it's not exactly fully Japanese, but at the same time, it gives you the same kind of satisfaction. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I actually just finished Tower of God. Anybody else is watching Tower of God right now?
Well, yeah, I've seen the whole season, and I've actually watched or read the manga. And then the first season is pretty much a prologue. So a lot of people, I've been seeing a lot of people have bad reviews on it, like, oh, it was weak, like, you know what I mean? It was a waste of time. Nothing happened in the first season. And I was like, nothing was supposed to happen. And the stuff that you saw happen was like just a little bit on the scale of what it's going to become. So I feel like second season, more people will be more hyped about Tower of God, I would say.
I haven't read the manga, but is that first season in the manga, or is that something just added onto it?
That's first season.
That is, okay.
I
Interesting.
tried reading the webtoon, but I can't get past how they're going on. I'm so sorry to say that, but I cannot do it. I really want to, but the art is so different than what I'm used to seeing that I can't get past that like initial barrier.
Took me a while too.
Yeah.
Took me a while to get used to the art style.
It does get better over time.
Sorry, Kat. When you get a chance, you're just saying your audio is a little bit garbled up. It looks like Nagi finally got
It might have changed her mic. It might have changed her mic into a different section. She might be using her camera mic right now.
Might be, yeah. Phoenix, what about you? What are you watching right now?
So the current thing I'm trying to catch up with, and I actually need to start watching, because I've been behind on my anime. The one thing I've been trying to start up and finish is Demon Slayer. That is actually one I'm trying to get into, and it's actually really freaking good, from what I've seen so far. And the next thing I'm going to plan to watch is ReZero. Finally, I've been being pushed about to watch ReZero for the longest time because everybody hypes how great it is. But those are the two I'm focusing on, and the one I want to go revisit is RWBY. I actually absolutely love the Ruby series, so I need to finish with that next. Everything down.
Nagi, you just finished Demon Slayer, right?
I did. I definitely did. I finished Demon Slayer and
I have a question.
Yeah.
About Demon Slayer, I heard that it starts off really good, but I've heard a lot of controversy towards the end. And now I'm kind of like on episode 7, 8, so I don't see it yet. But would you say that there's a controversial moment?
So I wouldn't say. Well, okay. So
wait, what end is she talking about?
Without, I'm assuming the controversy I'm assuming she's talking about is what happened towards like the end, because you said that you're watching it, right, Kat?
Yeah, I haven't finished it. I kind of got put off by all the things that I heard about the kind of ending.
Right. So the ending that's controversial that everyone kind of had an issue with is based off of the manga, which of course you'll eventually catch up to. But I can say again, without spoiling anything, it's really a perception thing. It's really based on how you feel the story should have ended, and based on and this is from me reading the full manga as well as being caught up on the anime. Up until literally the very last moment, like I want to say maybe literally the very last chapter is the one that everybody kind of dislikes. So I think outside of that last chapter, it was a fantastic experience. Like the story was there, the action, the sequence, everything kind of like it started off small, it built everything up, and then gave everything a proper, climactic story. And then that last chapter was just like
wasn't needed. It wasn't needed.
It wasn't.
Is it because the show differs than what the manga does, or is it just that?
No, it was
it's the same exact thing then.
It's the manga and the show is literally the exact same thing. Like they basically follow it like as much as they possibly can.
To the T
almost to the T. Now I don't know how for future episodes, I don't know how, because Kareem, you know. I don't know how accurate they're going to stay with the manga, because the manga kind of becomes a lot. Like it gets
gritty.
It gets
gritty.
It gets rough, right?
Really?
And,
but we need it. We need
I know
it. If they're doing that, the anime's got to stay exactly the same way, and they got to push it out because it's gonna make people love it even more. But at the same time, it's gonna break people's heart.
Exactly. So
what do you mean by gritty? Like kind of like
gory.
Kat, your mic is perfect now.
Oh, it's perfect now. Okay,
Yeah,
I think
perfect.
it was automatically going on the wrong mic. Sorry.
No,
Sorry
you're
about
good.
that.
You're good.
That's fine. Thank you.
But yeah, in terms of what do you mean by gritty? Gory. Like the action, the violence, the fighting sequences, they don't hold punches in terms of like, okay, prime example. In Naruto, right? The original Naruto storyline, the manga, when Naruto first pulled off the Rasengan when he was protecting Lady Tsunade and fighting Kabuto, in the manga, Kabuto pushes a kunai through Naruto's hand. but in the anime, it's like through his, like it's like off the wedge of his hand, like right in between his fingers. It kind of slices in between his fingers, so it's kind of like that. But in the manga, like
stabs him
straight through his hand. Like it's that he catches it. That was the whole point of that particular moment, and why it was so dynamic. Hence why, and that's why it was kind of confusing, because in the anime, Lady Tsunade's face was exactly how it was in the manga, but you're looking at a kid who just came out of the forest of death. A cut on the middle of his fingers is like, there's a paper cut. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not crazy. So that's what we mean, because the manga it does not, like when I say no punches, it pulls none. Just everything that you would expect to happen in a situation like that happens. And I know that with limitations and the way that production values are and production costs and stuff like that, it's very it can waver. Another example is with the My Hero Academia season, right? The fight with Chisaki versus Lemillion. In the manga, that was like fantastic, right? And I'm not even like a super Lemillion fan, but I was like really excited to see that fight. And then because of production cost, which is like the only real logical explanation. I mean, I may be wrong. I'm not the person behind the scenes, but that fight was limited to panels, like animated panels, to where it was just like photo here, photo here, photo here, photo here. And I would really like to have seen that in a full animated sequence, but then it kind of made up for it with the entire climax fight of Deku versus Chisaki. So I'm pretty sure that they were saving up their coins to go all out on that climax fight.
Yeah, they definitely hit a budget.
You know what I mean?
Maybe. It might be budget, or it might be the time that they had to do it, like deadlines.
Right. That could also be a factor. Right.
Well, the whole point for me is like when I read a manga is that I want to see it animated. So that's why I watch the anime. So like to kind of get, you almost feel like you're gypped in a sense when you only get panels. Because I was looking forward to the Lemillion fight versus Chisaki, and it kind of was just like, yeah, here's some pictures with some color, and that's all you get.
They gave him like the first 2 chapters, like not 2 chapters. They gave him like the first 2 pages of the manga fight, and then the rest of them, they were actually literal exact replica images from the manga, just with music in the background.
Copy and paste.
Oh, so annoying to me. So annoying to me, because
I felt gypped, dude. I did not like it. I did not like it. I still like. I was still sad. I was still sad because like I was watching him fight, and I was thinking about the manga while I was watching it, and I was like, oh. Like he's doing everything he can, but at the same time, I was like, "Damn, dude, you guys are ripping me from seeing him like use his quirk to the fullest to save somebody's life."
But then you have that situation, and then you have, in comparison, you have literally every single fight with Kirishima, with Red Riot, all of both. When he first shows Unbreakable and his fight where he teams up with Fat Gum, that was like spot on. The only difference was the only thing that they reduced, and I'm sure that was because of, I want to say, the audience, because the production value was there. The only thing that they reduced was the amount of blood that he actually had on his body, because in the manga, the punches that he was taking was literally like, it wasn't chipping off his flesh, it was ripping it off. Like he was literally like losing skin and then hardening the flesh under his skin, and that's what was happening in the manga. So it's like you see those 2 fights, and then so you're like super hyped up for this like whole arc, this whole chapter is just gonna be sick. The climax is gonna be nuts, and then Lemillion's fight, which is one of the most pinnacle points of the season, just gets half-assed, and that sucks. That sucks. You know what I mean? They made up for it, but
I became a fan of Red Riot after that fight, though.
After seeing, I became a fan of Red Riot the moment. Yeah, that backstory was like super important to me. It definitely hit me. I don't really I know I'm very emotional and I cry a lot, but when it comes down to anime characters, I only cry for the ones that really hit me. Like it's either like it's not easy for me to care. It's not easy for me to care.
Who's everybody's favorite character in My Hero?
My Hero? What was that psycho girl that can turn into other people?
Tomura?
Yeah, Tomura.
Her. She licks your blood and...
Yeah.
She licks your blood.
I like her.
She has a crush on Deku.
She's a yandere, and I love my
Okay.
yanderes. I love my yanderes.
I respect it.
Kareem, what about you?
Tokiyami.
Tokiyami?
Yeah, Tokiyami go hard.
Bro,
He's
he
my
took
favorite. He's
that
my
second
favorite.
Movie, bro, that second movie when he grabbed her down into the cave and turned
Yeah,
into a
yeah.
shadow
This is my
Wolverine.
zone. Pulled out the knives. He was like,
This is
"Let's
my
go."
territory.
I just saw the movie yesterday. I was like, oh,
bro,
so good.
I haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
It's
really good.
fantastic. It's the thing that makes My Hero Academia the thing that makes that movie so important to watch is because the originator, the creator, said that movie was actually how the manga was supposed to end, how the series was supposed to end. And they obviously went with another story, but that story, he wanted that story to be shown, so they turned it into a fully animated movie, and it did not disappoint.
It was so good.
Nice.
Phoenix, what about you?
I probably will be the odd one out saying this, but I'd have to say Deku.
Deku?
Yeah, because growing up, the reason why is because having to work extra hard to get what you want and to achieve things in life. I respect Deku for that reason right there.
Like it.
Yeah.
Nagi, what about you?
Deku. Deku has always been my favorite. Everybody who knows me knows that. Like, Deku has always been my favorite, but lately I've been finding myself connect more and more with Bakugo. I like Deku more because I relate to him on many situations. Just like Phoenix said, like many situations that relate to my life, I can relate to Deku more because growing up, I wasn't like the kid who was like super talented at doing shit, but was just a asshole. I was the kid that was good at nothing and doodled in my book, you know what I'm saying, and was trying to be like other people. But the more that I watch the series and the more that I acknowledge the arc and I look at Bakugo differently. Actually, I started looking at Bakugo differently and trying to understand him after the rematch between him and Deku at night, where they was like at equal power and Bakugo showed his emotions. I'm starting to really acknowledge Bakugo on a different level, like on a different plane, because he's arrogant, he's cocky, he's an asshole. But if you look at, like, there was a scene in the movie that's not a spoiler, I promise. There was a scene in the movie where Bakugo says that he wants to save people by defeating villains, and then Deku says, "Well, I want to defeat villains to save people." And like hearing that, it's like, wait, what? Like someone I just said the same thing, but it's really not the same. Like, one person is really focusing on saving people through sheer strength, and the other one is focused on saving people through just trying to be a hero, like just trying to be there. Someone that can remove people from that tough space and put them in a safe environment. And I can really see that because you look at the demographics between the two. It's to the point now to where, like, I'm waiting for Todoroki to kind of pick back up because he's kind of falling behind.
He is.
He's so
like,
falling behind.
He's
so
falling
sad.
behind. You know what I mean?
Like, he started off so strong.
During the tournament, he was like, those were the top three, and now he's
was
just like a
right.
side character, and like
He just disappeared in the background.
Yeah, the whole Endeavor thing. I guess that they're waiting for that kind of moment for him to shine out a little bit later, but
that's coming for sure.
Yeah.
That's definitely coming for sure.
My character is Eraserhead.
Of course,
he's good. He's
Eraserhead's
good.
my favorite.
Exactly.
Kareem, you're on mute. Yeah.
Wait, am I not on mute?
Yeah, now you're good.
Okay,
Now
okay.
you're good.
Okay.
But yeah, mine is Eraserhead. Not before I started watching My Hero, Nagi and a friend of ours, Purple, they were like, "Yeah, when you watch the show, you gotta see a character, and he's just like you." And then they were like, "You know who it is." And then as soon as I saw Eraserhead, it took 5 minutes, and I was like, "Oh, you guys are saying I'm Eraserhead," and they're like, "Yep, that's exactly you." And I just started laughing. I was like, "This is totally me."
Maru,
It was.
are you also a Kakashi?
A little bit, yeah. I'm a little bit Kakashi.
A little bit.
I think they're basically the same character, to be honest.
Maru,
Yeah.
when Maru first started doing like Little Light Radio with all of us, Maru had literally sent a commission out to where he had his entire body drawn as Kakashi Sensei holding a manga. Like, I don't want to hear that shit.
Kakashi's the man, though. Like, who doesn't want to be like
Kakashi's
Kakashi?
great.
Nah, Kakashi's dope, dude. I'm a
Yeah.
Shisui fan.
Yeah.
I'm a Shisui fan all the way. I wish we could have got like a great backstory on Shisui, but we didn't, and it was kind of upsetting.
With all the backstories you get.
I know.
Okay, so here's a question for you guys: Bakugo and Deku or Naruto and Sasuke? What's the better dynamic?
Naruto and Sasuke.
Bakugo and Deku.
Naruto.
Huh?
What?
Wait a minute.
I have solid argument for that. Go on though. Go
No,
on.
no. Give me the solid argument first. I want the argument.
Phoenix, you said Naruto and Sasuke, right?
Yes.
Okay, and Nagi.
Bakugo and Deku.
Oh, okay. This is the
Oh,
argument
my best
part.
friend is gone.
This is the argument part. Let's get
And
to
you know
it.
it's rough because I'm a huge Naruto fan. So it's just,
Okay, Kat, what's the argument?
I think the whole conflict between Naruto and Sasuke, to me, it felt very pointless at the end. I was like, it's pointless. They could have communicated better. I don't know. I was never a fan of Sasuke in the terms of every time there's a villain, there's always like Sasuke as a next step. Sasuke was like always like the main goal throughout the entire series, you know, and that bothered me immensely because I was like, I want to appreciate those good villains that you have because Naruto has one of the best villains I've seen. And then you keep bringing it back to Sasuke as a main plot thing that Naruto follows throughout the whole thing. And I'm like, I'm not feeling it. I just didn't feel it. Their whole bromance was like, I don't know.
I'm gonna give a nice rebuttal. I'm gonna give a nice rebuttal. Ready?
Go on. Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
ready.
So Naruto and Sasuke, right? They're the pinnacle. They're one of the many reasons why Deku and Bakugo even exist. So
I can
leading
argue
up-
with that.
yeah, leading up to like the anime, the only reason why I say Naruto and Sasuke is because honestly, for me, from my age and when I'm growing up, that's the first rivalry that I actually liked both individuals. So I'm here at a constant flux of trying to figure out if I want Sasuke to win, if I want Naruto to win, or if I want them to be friends, or if I want them to just, just get off and just leave the show completely. But obviously you can't because it's not canon. You need your primary main focus. You need obviously your protagonist, your antagonist. But I will give you respect though. I love Deku and Bakugo, and I'm not gonna lie, they are fun. But I will always pick Naruto and Sasuke only because the way they have a bond is not from being friends. Their bond is from sharing the same struggles.
Yeah.
So that means the most to me, if that makes sense.
I can understand that from the perspective of someone who actually likes Sasuke. I just never liked Sasuke as a character. That's why I felt it. I felt like it was always annoying to keep going back to Sasuke. I wanted him basically to disappear.
He was annoying though. You're not wrong. He was annoying. When you try to keep killing everybody and you're like, damn, Sasuke, just be a friend.
All right, was he justified in the reason that he had for wanting to do what he did and trying to basically destroy the village?
I don't think so. No.
No, because he was told the truth multiple times, and he was having an attitude. He was like having an attitude. And Phoenix, if you want to back me, me, also,
Phoenix, do you like that?
Back me, girl, please.
Help me, please.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to take it a step back to another rival that everybody will know very dear and well. Goku and Vegeta. Let's take it back to that. The reason why I will say Naruto and Sasuke are the two because they both have a different path. I treat it kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics in a way, which I'm not going to go into that too much, but it's a similar, like, they've known each other and then they go separate paths. And their paths feel like that is the absolute course they have to take. With that said, it's not the most respected decisions what they've done, but sometimes you see yourself play out to be the villain because it just happens to be. It's hard to really put it into words, but I will say, like, it goes so far back to where you think deep inside that is the true way and method and tried and true tale. And I think that's what Sasuke felt deep inside, my personal thing. And I think with also dealing with his personal struggles every day, considering that he was told the truth, he learned about what happened to him, and Naruto still trying to, like, first edition, become the next Hokage, grow powerful, try to, like, end the situation with the village and leave and everything. It just gets to, like, a whole, like, strum and brum of like both characters trying to be able to like meet in the middle. And I think in this case, Sasuke was so far driven down the path that it was hard for him to come back, if that makes sense. So he felt like that was the only thing he knew at that point, and that's why he's hard to like really like him. Like it, and at that point, it's really hard to redeem yourself toward the very end. And then when they finally everything came to fruition with that last fight that happens, it actually like, okay, we need to like, it's like literally water and fire like just hitting each other. That's the way to, honestly, best way to diffuse situation, honestly. With Sasuke, he just had so much pent up like. Have you seen what that kid has gone through? Yeah. And when Naruto's gone through, I can honestly see why he is hella, pardon my French, why he's hella pissed at the Leaf Village. At the same time, there was no justification, but that was the answers he had that thought were the best for him because of everything he went through to that point.
Yeah,
that's how I see it.
I can agree with that. Yeah. I like Sasuke, but I like Sasuke because of his fighting style and his skills. Oh, yeah. I never liked him like personality wise.
Then just like, you're saying you're an Uchiha fan of his brother Itachi. That's what you're saying, right?
Itachi's the man. I mean, Madara for me is like the pinnacle of shinobi.
How is Itachi? All right, Itachi is amazing, okay? But how is Itachi the man for you when the man damn near said 5 sentences all season? Like for the whole manga, he said 5 sentences.
That's all he needed to say to prove that he was the shit.
Actions speak louder than words.
This man slaughtered his whole clan
for his brother.
For his brother.
And
he's honestly the only one who was said that can go toe to toe with Jiraiya, and that they would probably wind up dying in the fight.
Oh, of course. Nice. But I want you to know that Itachi will always be the boss, all right? He'll always be the man, but I never, like, just me in general, I've never connected with him on that, like, just, I don't know, that vibe, like, to be one of my favorites, only because it was so late in the manga where I understood, like, how soft and how subtle he can be with his brother when he came back from the reanimation and he was talking to him before he went off, and I was like, damn, dude, now I'm gonna cry. And I was like, shit, now I like Itachi. And I'm like, it's just, my emotions are all over the place when it comes to certain parts in that anime. And I think that's what makes it so great. And that's what makes my hero so great, is that it makes you want to cry. It makes you want to laugh. It makes you want to say, holy shit, look what just happened. And it pulls all those emotions and bundles it together in a cute little package and then just chucks it at your heart.
Listen, every time I watch one of the last episodes of Naruto when he's talking to his dad and telling him to tell his mom that he's okay, I always cry. Every single time I see that episode, I cry. And Naruto does that. It touches like on literally every emotion, and the great thing about it is that almost every character has some depth to them.
Right.
And to some sort of capacity.
For myself, right? The reason, and as a Naruto fan, like anybody who knows me knows that I give a shit about Naruto overall. I grew up, that was like my anime, right? This ring is a ring of the hidden leaf, right? I don't take this ring off. You'll never see me without this ring. So Naruto by far is my anime, right? But the reasons why I say Deku and Bakugo is because actually for the similar reasons as Kareem said when it comes down to their bond, because they bonded off of their struggles and there were two perspectives of a similar struggle, right? Down with the argument where they were at the final valley, where Naruto is sitting here saying like, why are you acting like this, and the third? And Sasuke was like, what the hell do you know about anything? You didn't have anybody. I had everyone and it was ripped from me. How do you know? You can never know that pain, right? But at the same time, Naruto was like, yeah, I can never know that pain, but I would kill to even have the bonds that you managed to have. Yes, it was ripped from you, but I wish that I could feel your pain, but I can't, right? And that's the crazy dynamic between the two. The reasons why I say Deku and Bakugo is because of those very similar traits. Bakugo wants to be the hero that people trust. They both idolize the same person, but Bakugo idolizes All Might for his strength, and Deku idolizes All Might for his smile, a symbol that his smile has on people, right? But if you watch the turmoil that it actually takes on each other and how much pressure they put themselves under, the reasons why I say Bakugo and Deku is because all of the trauma that they've experienced, all of the hardships and all of the negative that they've ever endured has been self-inflicted. Naruto and Sasuke are reacting to things that was done to them by other people. But Deku puts himself under that training and puts himself under that stress because he wants to be better. Bakugo puts himself under everything that he puts himself under, and he acts the way that he acts because he wants to be stronger. But at the same time, they're both trying to somehow manage to be the same person.
Is it similar to say that they're like All Might and Endeavor at this point? Is that a good comparison to say?
No, because Endeavor doesn't want to be like All Might. Endeavor has a perception that, like for instance, in the fight with All Might versus All For One, Endeavor screams at All Might saying, "What the hell is up with that back?" Like he's screaming at him about his back. In the visual sense, the metaphorical sense about it is, I've been chasing after you to surpass you, and you look like somebody who's not even on my level. How dare you belittle my image of you, right? Bakugo and Deku are not, well, Deku idolizes Bakugo's ability to be efficient in combat, but Bakugo idolizes the fact that Deku was chosen for a reason that Bakugo knows he doesn't have. And that was expressed when he revealed that he felt responsible for the reason that All Might is no longer a hero, right? And all of those things, again, even though those things are very similar, all of those things, all of those emotions, all of those traumas, all of that pressure is caused by their own mental capacity that they inflict upon themselves. Everyone around them is trying to make them better heroes, but it's their own personal dilemma. All of the battles that you see, Bakugo versus the entire all of the villains when he was trying to escape, the League of Villains, Deku versus Muscular. All of the things that they were thinking during these fights were things that they tell themselves. You're watching My Hero Academia is you watching the progression of heroes that are battling their personal, emotional, and mental demons. No one outside is causing them any, and at this particular moment. They have reasons. Todoroki has, his past with his father and so on and so forth. They have reasons, but no one on the outside of the heroes are really trying to stop them from being heroes. The only thing literally that can stop Deku from doing anything is Deku. The only thing that can stop Bakugo from being Bakugo is Bakugo. All Might literally says it. If the two of you were to acknowledge each other, the two of you would be the greatest heroes, period. If Bakugo was able to let go of that ego and let go of that arrogance of him trying to be the strongest, he can absolutely skyrocket to #1 without even skipping people. He would be skipping people. Because if he can have people entrust in him, it's over. He has everything else. If Deku can have the strength to consistently progress with ease, it's over. He has it. You see what I'm saying? So they have to acknowledge what the other has and why they don't have it. But that's also a personal battle.
Who would win?
I agree.
Who would win in an all-out fight?
Between who?
Deku and Bakugo.
Deku and Bakugo?
Let's talk about time frames, though. Let's talk about time frames.
If we're talking about right now, Bakugo. But
of course.
If Deku manages to master One for All, full cowling,
which he will,
it's Deku.
I think with proper prep time, Deku would win. It's like the Batman versus Superman argument. With proper prep time, Batman is gonna win.
Yeah, because he's smarter. Like
exactly.
like Deku's a genius. Like
if
he has a whole book.
They're both very resourceful characters. So given prep time, they will win every battle. But they need the prep time.
Yeah. But have you noticed that Bakugo has been taking pages from Deku's book now? Because he's been around him so long. He's thinking before he gets into the fight. He's not just going head in. He's going head in and faking people out and doing different moves and different style and tossing things up.
I saw that in the movie. So, in the movie, he's fighting a lot smarter. It's like the whole Vegeta Goku thing. Vegeta's the smarter fighter. Goku's just the strongest one.
and even with the aspect of what he said with Bakugo taking pages out of Deku's book, now Bakugo was, if you notice, Bakugo doesn't even give a shit about, like, he cares about being the #1 hero, but when it comes down to Deku, at first he just wanted to just beat Deku because he didn't like him. Now he wants to beat Deku because he knows Deku has the ability to be stronger than him. So that's why he's constantly pushing Deku. Like, you've seen it in the movie. He goes up to Deku. He is like, hey, man, did you master so-and-so yet? No, not yet. Hurry the fuck up and fight me. Like, he's...
Yeah, Bakugo's dilemma. Bakugo's dilemma was like that he knew this kid from when he was very young, and he was always someone that he would look down on, like someone who's actually always beneath him, right? And then suddenly he realized that he came to his level and might even be surpassing his level, and he was scared. I think that was like a normal scared reaction of, oh my god, am I weak now, or is he getting ridiculously powerful? You have to change your perspective of how you see that person.
Right.
Yeah, no, he was shook. He was definitely shook. He was like, "Oh, I need to do something." He was like, "I gotta train overnight." Like, cause he sees Deku. Deku is all like till the break of dawn outside, almost to like 3 a.m. training, and then when he comes in, Bakugo is just hanging out, watching him the whole time, and he's like, "Damn, dude, what am I doing?" And I think Bakugo's kind of like taken back, like, or I would even say surprised to watch Deku work so hard and to be able to like him, but at the same time not let Deku know that he likes him.
Yeah. Bakugo looks at Deku the same. Bakugo looks up and is influenced and inspired by Deku, but Bakugo can't openly say that.
He'll never say that.
Yeah.
How could
and that's partially the reason why I think that Bakugo and Deku have a better chemistry than Naruto and Sasuke, because that back and forth that they have, I don't think Naruto and Sasuke had that necessarily.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I think that they went their separate ways for far too long for us to see their chemistry between each other. They were just hating on each other for like whatever reasons that they had from the past. While I think that the reasons why Bakugo and Deku have their kind of clashes is completely different, and they're a lot more often, and we kind of see them grow together as characters instead of separately as characters.
Yeah. Sasuke severed it. Sasuke severed it from when he saw when him and Naruto, right, were going for the Chidori Rasengan clash when they were young, and Kakashi came through and twisted both hands, right? And then you see like, oh, Sasuke was laughing and excited because he did more damage than Naruto until he went to the back and saw what the Rasengan actually did, and he got pissed. And he was like, shit, I'm weak, dude. I was going to get rocked.
Yep.
So
I'm underestimating this cat. Something's wrong here.
How do you guys feel about the whole how Naruto and Sasuke are now in Boruto? Who watches Boruto first of all?
I watch Boruto consistently.
I still watch it.
I think it's happy. Like, they wanted to cater to fans, right? So you always wanted to see Sasuke and you wanted to see Naruto happy brothers together forever. But at the same time, like, they're not even friend like that. They just have a mutual respect and they want to raise their kids. Like, they're even hang out.
They're like cats, just tolerating each other.
Yeah, they don't even hang out. They literally just go through and fight together. And if they need to, the only time they become friends and they hang out is when they're fighting. You never see Naruto and Sasuke hanging out unless they're fighting together.
100%. Which is like the whole best friend thing. It's not really, they're barely even friends.
Yep.
I also feel like they're a bit like very bad at parenting. I feel like the moms are doing all the job here, and the dads are like being kind of crap at being dads.
That's like in most animes, though. Apparently,
that's an anime stigma that needs to snap. God damn it! Because I'm gonna be the best dad in the world. It gotta make me look bad.
Exactly. I feel like someone like might be a really good dad. Like, he would be a good example of good dad.
He pretty much is like Deku's dad at this point.
He's a good example of that, but it is very rare to see good dads in anime. You see shit like Naruto, who's, I think he's a shit dad. I'm sorry, but
which is crazy because he had Iruka Sensei as like the best dad, and he didn't get any of that.
And you'd think someone like Sasuke, who valued family, would value his own family, but it's like,
well, I think it's part of it is because Sasuke at a young age had his whole family taken from him, and then Naruto had no family at all, so they didn't even know how to like process. I mean, literally, the best dad in Naruto is Minato, because this guy took a freaking Nine-Tails finger through his chest and still managed to put the seal on Naruto and everything.
Yeah.
And still put a seal to come back later on to save him. Yeah. And came back from the dead to save him again.
Right.
That was like #1 dad right there.
It's good, man. What about so if I'm watching Boruto, I'm not sure. I don't know if anybody or any of you guys watch Boruto.
I read the manga too. I'm up to date.
But all right, so like everybody understands like Konohamaru, right? When he's growing up, like Konohamaru is a beast. I'm telling you, if you haven't watched Boruto, Konohamaru is a beast, and they do him justice in the anime because they give him extraordinary like IQ in his fights, and he has the strength, and he's amazing. He's a good leader, and I just wanted to bring that up because, you know, like, because he came under Naruto's wing, and Naruto was like, "Here, I'm gonna give you the keys," and it just worked very well.
I want to make the point that Konohamaru is what Naruto would have been if his parents were still alive and if he didn't have the Nine-Tails. That's exactly what Naruto would have been like.
Agreed.
I agree. I agree.
I watched 60 episodes of Boruto and I gave up. I was like, this isn't going anywhere. It's too slow.
It's a lot of fillers.
It's really slow.
Too many fillers to hold people, and I've weathered the storm for so long, and now it's finally
getting good now.
Finally, time for people to start acknowledging Boruto and being like, "Oh shit, this anime slaps," and I'm gonna be like, "Yes." But at the same time, I'm kind of like, stay back and don't watch this anime because you didn't give it a chance before, okay? But I can't hold them. I can't hold them victim.
I want to
make 2 points. I'll watch the short version.
I want to make 2 points first of all, because Naruto did 2 seasons of fillers in the middle of a war. People need to understand that we went through that in the middle of a war. And 2, even though I like the Boruto manga and anime, I actually don't like Boruto as a character.
I don't either.
Me neither. I like every other character.
Every other
I like every other character. Maybe I like Boruto when he starts like to stop being a little shit and like he starts like controlling his stuff and learning all of his new powers that he's getting. And damn, I almost spoiled. But yeah.
I like Mizuki.
Yeah, I like him too.
He's cool.
Yeah.
He's the most interesting character by far.
He is.
Right?
He has such a story going on with Orochimaru and everything. It's insane. So I read the manga. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but the manga, the last like 2 manga chapters, I was fangirling because it's so good, and it was asking for the thing that I've been asking for since Naruto, with the whole war thing, and I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. So it's getting good. I think people just need to give it a chance, but I think the whole filler thing is what killed it for a lot of people, and the fact that Boruto's just like you said, Kareem, he's just a little shit, honestly. Because you have a dad, and I get the fact that he's not around, but you still have a whole family, and
whole ass family.
They're repeating the same thing though, including the mistakes. It's like rehashing the same formula. It is literally the same formula.
It becomes the twist at one point. So if you keep watching the twist,
so. I might go back to
at
it
one
now.
point. That kind of sets Boruto on his own journey, and you understand.
Yeah.
So. But it's kind of like in the beginning, it was like feeding you like, you know, little peanuts here and there. But now you're getting like the big grapes. You're getting juicy, like, you know, you're getting nice A1. You got the sauce. Like, oh man, it's happening.
And the fight.
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's too low.
I'm low?
Yeah, you sound low.
I'm sorry. Hold up.
Crank it up a little bit.
How about that?
Oh, that's good. Man, that's crispy, boy. You shining now. Yeah. Yes. Hey, go ahead. Give me that rock. Give me that.
I gotta. Timidate. Killer B, bro. Killer B out here.
Bagararo. I'm done.
All right. So, what's the anime everybody's waiting for? Next season, or just like a brand new anime? What's everybody looking for?
I'm waiting for Jujutsu Kaisen.
What's that?
Have you guys ever heard of Jujutsu Kaisen? Okay, so Jujutsu Kaisen is kind of like it's like a whole high school of individuals, and they're kind of like a demon protecting society because there's demons in the world. And then there's this high school protagonist that's just he's a young kid, but he's freakishly strong, like freakishly strong. Nobody knows why he's freakishly strong. So he grows up and he meets a couple of friends. I'm only one chapter in, but this one chapter have made me like a fiend over it. I've read the chapter over and over and over again. So they're just basically a society of people who fight demons while in high school. And I think it's pretty cool and it's pretty different. I don't know if you guys will like it. It's kind of like JoJo-esque. Like, I don't know if you, yeah, if you guys watch JoJo, it's kind of JoJo-esque. And I feel like this anime, I feel like this manga, like, Google it. I don't know how to spell it correctly. I would have to pull it up, but it's Jujutsu Kaisen. Make sure you Google it, read the manga. It's amazing. Okay, it's awesome. Trust me.
Kat, what about you?
I'm already living my dream, man. ReZero season 2. I'm all over that. I love ReZero.
Okay.
100%.
Phoenix, what
Can
about
you
you?
tell us about it a little bit? Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I don't mean to do that.
Oh, I guess, Kat, if you want to talk about the first season.
I went into ReZero as someone who actually hates isekai. I hate isekai. I don't like isekai in general. I think it's like cliche and a power fantasy that I'm not into personally. So I went into it expecting to hate it, but I ended up loving it. That's what I have to say. It's very slow start, so if you haven't watched it, I'm saying give it time, it will get there. And if you like visual novel type of games, which I'm a huge fan of, this is basically, it plays like a visual novel. Very much so. In a way kind of similar to Steins Gate, I would say. It really goes places, but you gotta give it time.
Okay. What about Phoenix? I know you're looking forward to that one. That's like on your backlog, but what's like a season or a new anime you're waiting for that hasn't released yet?
Honestly, like, this is gonna be a little bit like way back then, but I'm just waiting to see the next season for Psycho-Pass.
Psycho-Pass. I've never actually watched that. Is that?
I have a question for that, because I love Psycho-Pass season 1 is one of my favorite things of all time ever. And then season 2 and 3, I could barely watch that. It was unbearable. It was so painful to watch. I hated it. So does it get better?
It keeps the same tone, but I think it just changes the hands of certain things, which I don't want to get into personally, but it keeps about the same pace, I would say. And I think it gets spicy in some spots, if that makes sense what I'm trying to say. I'm trying not to like, but it does get spicy. It just keeps the same tones. And I can see why you don't, but it just intrigues me because I like how it goes in the concept of the whole Psycho-Pass acknowledgement and whatnot too. And when you find out why and whatnot, it just makes you like intrigued to like just go, you know, that whole go on thing. Go on. Like, I want to know, like, give me like extra, like, to go with it. I just want to like to pick at the whole series more, you know? But Psycho-Pass is definitely something I want to see more of, like, especially.
That reminds me of Death Note. I like the first half of Death Note, and then the second half.
Way ahead of its time.
The second half of Death Note, it was not for me though. I didn't like it.
Wait, you never watched Death Note fully?
No, I watched it. I'm saying the second half I didn't enjoy.
Because
once L was gone.
When L was gone and Slayer came through.
I was like, wow, well, what do I do now?
That was handled badly.
No, I liked it. I thought it was good. I'm just saying the first half of the season was amazing, and then the second half almost felt like it was a different writer.
Yeah.
Once L was
I
gone.
didn't want L to die too. You're right though. Him dying
maybe towards the end if they would have done that, but I feel like right in the middle, and then you put like a whole new character. I was just like, I still watched it.
It felt very forced.
Yeah, I read the one shot that they released a couple weeks ago. That was pretty good too.
That was good.
Right now I'm waiting for No Game, No Life season 2.
Yes.
I've been waiting 6 years for this.
I've never seen that. Tell me more.
It's so
Tell
good.
me more.
It's these two characters, they're step siblings. I think it's Sora and Shiro, I think the names are. And they're labeled as the undefeated gamers. So they get challenged by this god. I think his name is Tet. And he challenges them to a bunch of games, and they always wind up winning. and it's just like it's all twists and everything. And you'll think they're about to lose, and they come out with like some Sherlock Holmes shit where they just like get the win at the end. And they left in like the middle of it where they were still going up to get challenged by the god himself, because they're fighting against other people. And it's like a whole nation are at war or something like that. And yeah, I don't know what it was, but that anime like caught me by surprise. That
you said video games, so I'm already on board.
Yeah, they're like the undefeated gamers. Anything that has to do with like video games, yeah, in the anime, I'm like, yeah, I'm down for that.
That's what Sword Art got me, dude. Sword Art Online, and then they dragged it out, and then I had to opt out. I had to opt out. They dragged it out, and I had to opt out. But now I'm seeing like this Kirito is back, and like he's back in his whole wave.
It's so
in the new season, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get back in now because it's man.
Listen, okay. So here's the thing with Sword Art. I've read the mangas for it. The Sword Art manga is amazing, and the light novels are amazing. The problem with Sword Art is, even though the first season, which is still the best one, is that they fast forwarded through too many parts. They didn't give enough backstory for each thing, and each episode was just like point A to point B. Like they'll skip a whole couple months before two things happen. So they didn't expand and flesh out everything. And I think part of that's because they didn't think it was going to do so well, so they didn't want to put the production into making that first season should have been like 3 seasons, no lie. But when they did the whole Alfheim, where they did like the fairy tale and the elves, I didn't like that. When they did Gun Gale and they made Kirito into a girl character, that was just weird. I was like, I don't understand this. And nothing against with that, it's just like it was just weird.
But I just didn't like it. I just didn't like the gun. I like the folklore, and I like the sword play. Like it meant something to everybody that was watching it. As soon as you reverted to guns, but he still uses swords, I was kind of like, what the heck?
And I was a huge Dahak fan, so that's what got me into Sword Art. It was like, okay, yeah, I love Dahak, sign me up. And then they did GGO, which wasn't even with Kirito. They had the little girl. That one was pretty cool because it was just like a side story. But Accelerization, I don't even know how to say it, but that's the one going on right now. And that one is so... I don't want to spoil it, but this one season is that, and then the second season is called Underworld, which takes place in the same storyline, and it's getting to some epic moments. And the new season just came out. I think we're on episode 2 right now, and that one's good, man. But Sword Art has like a bad stigma with it.
I might come back only on what is it called? Alicization.
That's the one. Alicization. I don't know how to say it.
Alicization?
Alicization, maybe.
Alicization.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Fuck that up. I would have fucked that up. I'd have ruined that. Alize.
That's back in the day.
Wait, Phoenix, you're about to burst. Tell me. Come on now.
What's your thoughts on Sword Art? I love it, even though a lot of people hate it.
I have a feeling that we're on the same page, Waitful.
Go ahead,
the thing I saw my snippets at Dot Hack. I've got the games like sitting right behind me. I love the games. I like watching the show. SAO, I liked the first season. I liked everything about it. Can I be real with you? I liked SAO Bridge more.
Okay.
You liked it more?
Okay. SAO Abridge more, because if you actually watch the abridges, I think they because if anyone know about like the Team 4-star thing and whatnot, where they take everything and they abridge it.
Yeah.
So basically, they started with like Yu-Gi-Oh! Then they went to Dragon Ball Z, which was really good, and then they took every single like all the facts that have happened like in the entire thing, and they made it in like a parody, but it still made sense in how they told the story. And I feel that same way. They should have made Kirito. I'm sorry, they should have made him an asshole. And it would have been a lot better scripting for that character. I like the concept with what he had and the plot twist of Kirito, but after season 1, I couldn't I couldn't after that with that. But if it gives me something,
season 1 was my favorite too.
Exactly. Like I'd be down to go back to it if there's like more to come and whatnot. Yeah. I just like it's always gonna be Dot Hack, and the one series I actually wanted to get into that's like similar concept is Log Horizon.
Log Horizon. I saw the first season. That one's really good also. I like that one. The thing for me too with SAO where it got kind of weird is that all the girls, even though he's with Asuna, they all just start like want to be with him, and then even his cousin wants to be with him. And I was like, you took too much. Sword Art was so serious where people were losing their lives, and then you went into the thing where everybody just wants to be with this dude. And I was just like, okay, you kind of took the seriousness out of it, and this isn't what I signed up for.
I think to me, Sword Art Online is a power fantasy play. Just like, you know, something like He-Man is a power fantasy, right? I think it's kind of on the same level. It's very, what you see is what you get. There is like very little depth to it, but not necessarily in a bad way, just not my kind of thing. I'm not a Sword Art Online fan. But, you know, I just think it's just a power fantasy and it just pushes all the cliches.
A lot of animes are like that. They just want to push whatever like
Absolutely,
the fantasy is for people.
Personally, I cannot watch Sword Art Online for the life of me. Like I can't bring myself to actually, you know, sit down and take it, you know, take it in like I would be able to take in other animes. And that's my fault because I have the attention span of a squirrel. But it's, you know, it's I don't know. Like I just can't grasp that. Like I just can't do it. I can't sit there and pull that off. You know what I mean? Like I kind of, and I've seen the animation. The animation is spot on. I've kind of, you know, dabbled into the storyline. So it's not like I'm just like refusing to acknowledge it and never touch it. Like I'm not. I assure you, I'm not treating it like I would treat, you know, Dragon Ball GT. That's a completely different experience. It's like I'm not doing that, but I just can't. Like every time I sit down and I try to watch it, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I don't know why. But then at the same time, it sucks because I can't watch that, but I can watch I got reincarnated as a blob.
Yeah.
I could watch that.
That's entertaining though.
That's a good one.
I can watch that for hours. Like I can sit down and bro, he ate a dragon. He got fire breath now. Bro, he ate an ant. This motherfucker got telekinesis. Oh, that's fire.
I saw like I was browsing because I do the same thing in Netflix. I'll add like 1 million animes to my queue, and it takes me forever to get through. But I saw that one, and I was just like, I'm not gonna watch this. And
Bro,
I just
It's
kept
pretty
going.
good. It's pretty
I was
good,
at-
dude.
I was at PAX when I saw it. Like my friends and I, when we were at PAX, it was a time that me and you, Kareem, when we first met in person. It was that PAX. So my friends had got the room next door booked. We basically had the whole floor. Like one friend was in one room, we was in the other. Our other friend was down the hall. Like we all had one particular floor. And we went into the other room, and we were sitting there. We was watching. We was actually playing Smash, and then they had the anime. They had that anime playing on the TV. So I'm watching it. This motherfucker died and came back as a blob and had to immediately do battle. I'm like, wait. I need explanations. There was none. But every person, it was like, there was a video game about that. It was like, it reminded me of Devil May Cry. Because you know, in Devil May Cry, every time you kill the monster, you get a weapon dedicated to said enemy, like a boss. You kill that, like you kill Cerberus, you got the nunchucks, right? You killed, you know what I'm saying? You killed Navine, you got the electric guitar that was from Devil May Cry 3. Like there was so many, you know what I'm saying? It was just like that because, and there was like science involved, and he would eat his enemy, and then it would just dissolve into his molecules, and it would turn into an ability. I can't breathe. Oh, that's cool. Eat a bird. Now you got wind accuracy. Like, what the fuck? Now, oh, he got lungs now. Oh, bet lit. He's like, oh man, it was nuts. But that's some of the things that kind of confuse me because, again, like I can't watch Sword Art Online for long periods of time, but I can watch that for long periods of time. But then I can also watch like Fate Zero or Fate Stay Night. Like I could watch those, it's not the same thing in terms of development or in terms of
it's slow
story. It's very slow.
There's like 5 different versions also, right?
There is 5 different versions.
So
and some of them coexist. Some of them are like sequels, whereas other ones are like completely different storylines. But what I've come to realize is that it's like the reasons why they're different is because they're not following the person that controls the stand. They're following the stand itself. That's why you consistently see Saber. So Saber has different like leaders, but you still like she's the returning character.
I'm a Lancer fan.
So it's like
you gotta have the top tier waifu.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She be out here beating motherfuckers up with no sword. It'd be They can't see it. Where it's at? Where it's at? Bow.
What's-
Oh, what is it? Excalibur. Poof. Oh,
Move right out of nowhere, dude.
You wasn't supposed to say the name. Bro, it's nuts.
What's everybody's guilty pleasure anime?
Wait a minute.
I ain't answering that.
Are you
What's
kidding
wrong
me?
with you?
I'll say mine first if you guys want to think about the question. Mine is High School of the Dead.
I can understand that. I can understand
that
that.
was just a wild anime, but it was, I don't know what it was, but it was just good. I just liked it.
I
I just enjoyed it, even though it was really weird.
On that kind of note, I don't.
Nathan, ew.
Yeah.
I don't know what Bible Black is. Something's wrong.
Oh,
Listen,
really? You don't?
if you don't know
okay.
what Bible Black is, oh my god.
You-
But God, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
It's culture.
Okay.
No, on that same note, I think Interspecies Reviewers was the best anime I saw this year. Legit,
What's it
like
called?
hands down. Interspecies Reviewers. It's the one that was labeled as hentai in the end, and you can find it on Pornhub.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't have. When it comes down to like a skeleton in the closet for anime, I don't have one, but I have a lot of skeletons in my closet when it comes down to manga, because I don't look for like regular manga. I look for very dark, very unsettling, very
Gantz-esque or Gantz times 10?
Freaky. You like that?
like there's this one. Listen, I'm not gonna tell you the depth of it, but there's this one manga. I mean, one of my favorite horror manga artists is Junji Ito.
Hell yeah.
And he's currently getting a hell of a lot of attention, but he, as well as many other manga artists, are like manga horror is in a complete, like, you think you've seen horror anime? No, bro. Manga horror is a completely different demographic, right? But there's this one manga that it's not horror, but it's everything that's within the manga are things that are like, if you were to find out in this current time in reality that this happened, it would shake the core of like society. Like, that's how bad it is.
That's some dark stuff.
I'm waiting to write a name.
It's called Dokumushi. Dokumushi. That's what it's called.
Wrote it down.
Dokumushi.
I hope this doesn't make me call the cops on you.
I probably will. It probably will.
FBI,
You go
open
to
up!
jail now.
It probably will, because there's like,
Dokumushi?
oh my god, it's called Dokumushi,
All
and
right.
it starts off relatively like a regular horror, movie.
Bro, there's literally the first video that comes up says, "Don't read this manga, please."
I love those. Those are my favorite. I'm
Bro,
very excited now.
And I watched that
If
video.
I call you at 3 o'clock in the morning being like, "Yo, I'm scared and I can't go to sleep," you better answer your phone.
It's not even. Honestly, you're not gonna call me and say that you're scared. You're gonna call me and say, "What the fuck are you doing reading this? You sick fuck!" Like, you're gonna
You sick
curse
bastard.
me. You sick son of a bitch! I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. You nasty motherfucker! Like, you're gonna. It's that crazy. You know what I'm saying? But again, it starts off relatively similar to a lot of horror.
That probably
mangas.
would never be an anime then, if it's that bad.
It will never be an anime.
Yeah.
Ever. Ever.
Ever.
Ooh, ever.
Did you
Never.
guys?
I think anime, when
okay.
it comes to horror, I'm sorry.
No, you got.
Anime, when it comes to horror, is so freaking censored. Like, I was legit so pissed off at Tokyo Ghoul, because it was one of my favorite mangas. And watching the anime was painful. It was physically painful. I was like, why did you do that? Why? But what's
the difference between like?
It's completely different.
No,
It's
what's the
completely-
difference between putting up something that's horror versus something that's sexual? Because a lot of animes have so much sexual innuendos in it, but like when it comes to horror, they just don't put that.
That's
I
good
never
question.
understand.
Depends on the viewer.
Society is
consumer.
more
It
prone
depends.
to society, honestly, and it's a weird demographic when it comes down to it, because you look at it's fucked. The topic of the question is really fucked, because you have a situation to where the only reason why we have ratings on video games is because of Mortal Kombat, right? And the gore in Mortal Kombat is exactly why you know, they raised this war and was like, oh, people do this, is you're influencing children, Grand Theft Auto, But then, you know, you got cone titty Laura Croft, you know, running around booty short.
Cone titty.
And it's like, that's been her demographic for decades. Like that, you know what I'm saying? She's been around for decades, and she has maintained that physique up until recently when they revamped her and made a origin story of her being a survivor versus an archaeologist in Tomb Raider. So people are more prone to seeing, and then on top of that, like she was in booty shorts fighting raptors,
tank top,
and a tank top fighting raptors with 2 pistols. So
two
it's
holsters.
like,
Yeah.
2 holsters. Backflipping, you know what I'm saying? But people are more prone to seeing somebody, you know, decapitated than, you know, seeing 2 people have sex. It's still very taboo to have a sex scene. You know what I'm saying?
But that's my thing though, because in anime,
You watch Baki.
Anime is more, you'll have sexual innuendos though, but they rarely do the horror stuff.
I think Japanese culture really shows in anime.
Well, are you referring to like mainstream stuff? Because that's mainstream stuff. And for like, there'll be no, I see what you're saying. The reasons why is because with manga, this is my perception, because again, I'm not in the industry, so I don't know. But my perception is that when it comes down to horror, like you watch things like The Grudge, right? Imagine how terrifying The Grudge would be if it was only as a manga. How much room they would have to actually explore that level of terror. You see what I'm saying? Like, visualize that in a manga format. With manga, you have a lot more leg room to do things, right? Naruto was cursing up a storm. He wasn't over here screaming Sasuke. He was like, Sasuke, come back, you bitch. Like, he was like really bugging out. You know what I'm saying?
I wish he did that.
In the show, yeah, but in the manga, he really did that. Like, that's what he did. He was cursing up a storm. He was calling Jiraiya Sensei a jackass. Why do you think they call him Pervy Sage? Nah, he was calling him a jackass in reality. Like, that's what he was saying. So, I really think that it has to do with the fact that they don't show a lot. They only show the sexual innuendos because you could do but so much with animation, but you're more capable of seeing gore. Whereas the things that are taboo or that are off limits are more prone to being acknowledged and having production in manga, which is, again, I'm referencing Dokumushi because Dokumushi is talking about like, there's some fucked up shit in Dokumushi.
I gotta read this tonight.
It starts
Dokumushi. Hold on, let me write this down on my
It starts within like the first. It starts within the first 3 to 4 chapters. You start to see like the psychotic crap on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, one guy, I could just tell you guys this because this is something like the animation is going to be great, but it's not a spoiler. And it's not a spoiler, and it's not a situation to where, you know what I mean? But this happens within the first 3, I want to say the first 3 or 5 chapters. Is this guy who's driving, he has anger issues. Guy driving a car, anger issues, another person cuts him off. Dude who's driving with the anger issues gets so pissed off, his girlfriend is in the car with him. He gets so pissed off that he rams the car that just cut him off. He's saying that he's going to do it. Like, he's like, oh, fuck you think you're better than me? Boof. The car swerves, impacts into an 18-wheeler. 18-wheeler blows up, car blows up. And you find out as he's driving, he looks in the car and it's manga. So you see it. You see it. You see what happens in the car as it's on fire, right? And then you find out later, like, you see a guy who is in the front and he's driving, and in the back seat, you see a woman like sitting in the back seat, but she's like positioned like this. And then you see like a blanket over her burning. This man was driving his wife to the hospital. She was in labor. It's in the first 4.
Oh my god,
that's
bro.
in the first 4 chapters. So manga is like really dark. Like, it can get really heavy. There's very limited restraints when it comes down to manga. Whereas with anime, there's a lot more legalities when it comes down to production, because that's that's going to be viewed by people. Someone has to put that on their platform. Somebody has to put that on their streaming service. Someone may be able to put it here and they can't. You see what I'm saying? With manga, it's like real linear. We could put it out. Some mangas are like self-published. We could put it out. We could sell it. We could. What we got to worry about is who's putting it on their shelves.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
But
I hope that there is a platform in the future for things that are this nutty, but in anime form.
I doubt there will ever be. I doubt.
No,
I don't think
there'll be black sites. Like there'll be a whole bunch of black
yeah,
sites. But
it will not be on TV, but it will be on something like Netflix.
Yeah,
maybe. But at the same,
that's why.
Maybe, maybe. No, actually,
that's why Demon Slayer's on Hulu, because they can cut off people's heads and do whatever they want because it's on Hulu.
I'm not even thinking about that. I'm thinking about like when it because the question was why are people able to put sexual, like why is anime able to put sexual innuendos, but like what's the limitations here? Like that's the conversation, right? So we sitting there, we're having this topic. Meanwhile, fucking a show like Oz was on TV years ago, and if you never saw Oz, that was live. That was real actors, real people, real story, and that was and I watched that as a kid, and that was some of the worst. Oh my god,
that's what I'm thinking about because like I'm blanking on the name. Hostel. You guys remember Hostel?
Yep, I remember Hostel.
Yeah,
that shit was wild when the girl's eyeball came out her socket and they put it on fire or some shit.
He cut it and the yellow mustard came out.
Yeah, that was
the
wild.
cannibals eating on a live person.
No,
but then Eli Roth is known for that, right? Because that was Eli Roth. Eli Roth did Hostel. He did Hostel 2. He did Cabin Fever. He did Green Inferno. Green Inferno wasn't one of his. Cabin Fever was fantastic.
Cabin Fever was
Green
good.
Inferno was kind of childish. It was basically like these kids go to save the Amazon forest, and then they find out that the Amazon forest is actually inhabited by cannibals. That's it. That's the story. And you can already tell. You can tell point A to point Z of the entire movie based off of that description. Like you can tell exactly what happens, right? But like Eli Roth's like greatest film was in fact Hostel. And then you have movies like Saw, where it's like all of the trap compartments was ridiculous. The reverse bear trap, the trap from Saw 2, where there's a key in a haystack, but instead of it being a needle in a haystack, it's a key in a needle stack, and it's just a pile of used, heroin syringes, just like a pit. And they take this woman and they throw her in the pit. And even talking about it now, it's like I got pins and needles on my body because I still remember that scene and I remember how it felt. I'm like, oh god, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh
yeah. And I think that Japanese like film as well and anime excels where Western stuff will be visually gory and disgusting, like visually. I think they will work around those boundaries that they have set by TV to be creative with how much they can fuck you up emotionally. I mean, that's half of slice of life genre. It's like it will fuck you up emotionally. And I feel a lot more pain from those kinds of things that are emotional attacks rather than the in your face gore and disgusting shit. Like to me that's hitting much harder.
I agree, and that also leads into the legal aspect of one, what you're portraying on TV, and two, how you're portraying it, right? Because then you'll have serious topics like you'll have serious topics, and how you portray or how you discuss serious topics really decides if it's able to be shown on TV or not. Like if you're being really disrespectful and having a mockery, the likelihood of it being shown on TV is not going to happen. But if you're either doing it in a comedic fashion to where people can enjoy it, or if you're acknowledging the seriousness of the hard topic that is being referenced, then you probably have a better opportunity to get it on television or to get it on a streaming service. You look at movies like How They See Us. That's a very hard movie to watch, but that portrayal of a very hard topic was something that needed to be seen and is better to be viewed on TV. But in terms of anime, again, the level, and I'm using Dokumushi as a reference because I know for a fact that this is not something that is going to be able to be shown on TV ever. And it sucks because what I'm talking about, what I'm referencing, hasn't even, this is the sick shit. What I'm referencing as to why it can't be shown on TV hasn't even happened yet. It's only been referenced. Let that sink in right quick. It hasn't even happened. It's only been referenced because there is a character who is showing signs of this indecent act that he hasn't committed yet. And everyone is looking at him like, bro.
What, like American Psycho type?
No. American Psycho was like
No,
banana peel.
I mean in the sense that he was imagining things that weren't actually happening. That was.
Oh no, he wasn't imagining nothing. He's planning on. He's planning. He's plotting. He's trying it. And like, not a lot of people are seeing it, but there are a couple of people who are like, "Bro, why are you doing that?" And he stops. He immediately walks away because he's like doing some weird, creepy shit. And they just look at him like certain people are picking up on it. But
the reason I was asking because, have you guys seen Goblin Slayer?
Yes. Yes.
And Goblin Slayer, I like it, but that whole goblin, with the women, that shit is wild. But I like the anime. I think the anime. I think is good. Like, I enjoy it. I like the Goblin Slayer character itself, but the whole women thing, I was like, wow, this is a lot.
I thought the backlash was more than what it was like. Because I know someone in chat mentioned Ninja Scroll back from like 97 or whatever, and that had like a rape scene like that as well.
Yeah.
It was very similar, and that didn't have nearly the backlash that Goblin Slayer had for one episode introducing this kind of same type of behavior from a species. It's the same thing. It's happened before. I just don't understand why people reacted the way they did, personally.
It happened on what's that movie? Hills Have Eyes?
Yeah.
As well?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it happened, like... The more people are aware that this shit actually happens, is the more people will kind of understand it, because this shit happens all the time, and we can't keep acting like it doesn't.
Yeah,
and it's sad to say,
to hide it like it doesn't exist.
Right. But like, and that leads into the conversation of like what this society is capable of interacting with, right? Because what we're talking about is the portrayal of serious things happening, like Goblin Slayer or Demon Hunter, with the violence and the gore that's definitely about to be shown. You see there, and you look at situations like this, and then you have shows like The Office, where Steve Carell was like, Steve Carell said that if The Office was to be aired today, we would be canceled within the first season.
Of course, he was a racist. Literally. He was multiple of them, they were all racist.
Right. In the show, they were racist, they were sexist, they were arrogant, they were dumb. Like, they would just come there, and it wasn't even a situation to where their character portrayal was a character that wasn't like trying to be these things. They were just that dumb and that unaware. They were that ignorant in what they were doing, right? And that was the gag. But this particular society is not, their skin is not capable of experiencing that. And having that show, and the show was good. It was a good show. It was funny. It was entertaining. There were actual wholesome moments. There was lessons being taught in that show. Even with these bunch of dumbasses, there was legitimate lessons that were being taught.
Even Kevin.
Even Kevin. Even nasty ass Kevin. I can't stand Kevin.
I love Kevin. Like, he's my favorite.
But you have that thing in society. Is society even able to, like, us five here, we're capable of watching these types of things. I just gave y'all an entire synopsis about Dokumushi. I really want y'all to read Dokumushi.
I will.
I'm gonna read it, and I don't know if I'm gonna read it or watch the YouTube videos of how they go through and like just
I don't even think that there's no YouTube video.
They are.
I think, bro,
I think
weird. Every YouTube video, I'm pretty sure, is a YouTube video expressing why this is one of the worst mangas that they've read.
Oh no.
Like, not worse as in like it's not entertaining, worse as in like
you give me the site. You give me the site and I'll do it, because I ain't gonna purchase this. I'm not gonna purchase this if I'm not purchasing it.
I'm not purchasing that. I'm not gonna have that on my
put that shit up on my bookshelf.
I ain't gonna have that shit on my bank statement. The hell is Dokumushi? Huh?
Oh, imagine get the FBI at your door.
FBI helping up.
Yeah, for real.
Oh God!
All right.
How is this kid doing at home? Jesus Christ!
Your FBI agent's gonna be scared, bro.
So can I be real? I actually kind of peeked in, and I did sneak a little peek on Dokumushi a bit. The first thing that comes to my head when I look at it, Gantz.
Yeah.
It literally Gantz vibes hit the head. I'm like, okay, I bet.
But
So I
as
feel-
you follow the little rabbit hole, like Gantz, the most that Gantz had was like a lot of relentless slaughter, like relentless. This dives into gore. It dives into sexual assault. It dives into because I don't even want to say it because it's that bad. Like
It goes into like the deepest, darkest
children
recesses of a person.
Yeah,
That shit's gonna scar
Like-
me for life.
I'm
So
telling you,
basically,
like,
Berserk the manga, pretty much.
yeah.
That's fine.
Berserk. Think combine Berserk, Gantz, what's is it? What's that? Wait,
Helsing?
Alucard?
Helsing.
Helsing. And last but not
It
least,
wasn't
what is that?
that
What is that
bad.
old one? No, it wasn't that bad, but I'm talking about Gore.
Oh,
for
okay.
Helsing.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. What was the last one? It was an old one. Vampire Hunter.
Vampire
Hunter
D.
D.
So good. That was so good.
So combine
so
all
good.
4 of those.
Combine all 4 of those, and that should build your skin up enough to where you can expect the absolute worst. To where when you witness what happens, because the manga isn't even done yet. Like they're still adding chapters to it, and
sold.
it's crazy because like I had to read chapter 1 through 7 and then find 8 through 9 somewhere else, and then find 11 and 12. Like it. I had to go down the rabbit, but I'll find the link that I have. Like I'll search for the link and then I'll send it to you guys because
I'm down.
Do it.
Yeah,
Ooh-wee,
I'll
baby.
I'm
Baby.
down as well. I like all the
Reading?
things that you mentioned, so I'm like, and someone in chat mentioned metamorphosis as well. If you know what that is, you know what that is. If you don't, just don't look it
Is that
up.
the one with the roaches?
It's not anime. It's hentai. Once again,
Oh.
we're going into my favorite category.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Cool. The hentai is dope. I like hentai.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
like hentai. I don't have a problem with hentai. How does
Hentai
my
has some
mic
good
sound, by the
stories
way?
though?
It
Honestly.
sounds good.
It sounds good.
Your mic does sound
It
good. You sound
It
crisp.
sounds good. Yeah. like it.
Okay, so here's a question for you guys.
What?
Your favorite anime and your most influential anime.
Oh, that's easy.
So
My favorite anime of all time.
hold on. I don't know
is-
if Kareem heard the question.
Oh. Correct.
Kareem, you heard the question?
No, he ain't gonna
Huh?
say so.
The question now is, and Nagi's gonna start it off. But what's your favorite anime and what's your most influential anime? So Nagi, if you want
Oh.
to start it off, and then we'll go Kat, Phoenix, Kareem.
Okay. My favorite anime of all time will have to be Naruto. That is by far, hands down, my favorite anime. The reason why is because it really like shaped who I was as a kid growing up. You know, like, and that ties into what Fifi said at the beginning of the episode, where we were having discussions about like who we are and how it impacts us and how we kind of shape these characters. Because my whole characteristic, for the people who know me, I know Maru, you know me, people who have watched me grow up, I have characteristics similar to Naruto, Vegeta, and Spider-Man. And the reason why is because as a kid, I just dived, head dive, no parachute, no life support, no nothing. Like I just in the deep end on all 3 of those characters because I idolize those characters so much. So I don't have like real life heroes. I don't have a person that I can call a real life hero. Spider-Man is my hero. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I should already know why Miles Morales is so important to me. But the reason why Naruto is so important to me is because that was literally my childhood. You know what I'm saying? Minus the demon fox living in my stomach. That was literally my childhood, trying to find friends and trying to create something from nothing and trying to kind of make everything happen. And then eventually throughout my life, I started to become stronger and obviously in life, in a realistic sense, I started to become stronger, more healthy, more helpful. And that was all because of the people that ended up coming with me along on this journey. Hence my hidden leaf, my Konoha. And that's what I call my friends and family. That's my Konoha. That's why I never take off this ring. And that's why this ring means so much to me. In terms of influential, I would have to say it's Dragon Ball Z. And it's really tough for me to say that Dragon Ball, like Naruto, is more important to me than Dragon Ball Z because of how much I respect and acknowledge Vegeta as a character, because I personally still feel like Vegeta is, in fact, the best character of all anime, period, point blank. I know a lot of people have a lot of arguments that say otherwise, but Vegeta, period. But the reason why I say Dragon Ball is because there are a lot of people who Dragon Ball was the doorway. Dragon Ball was like the first anime for a lot of people. There are a lot of people who are watching and reading and in this culture and in this industry and in these activities if it wasn't for Dragon Ball. And it definitely was for me. Dragon Ball was one of my first animes. I didn't know that it was an anime, just like I didn't know that Big O was an anime. Kareem said that he liked Samurai Champloo's. I was watching Samurai Champloo. I thought these were all cartoons. Rurouni Kenshin. Samurai Jack is not a cartoon. That's an anime. So is Avatar. But like, I didn't know that these things were anime. I had no idea. I had no clue what these things were. I thought that they were just gritty colored cartoons. That was it. Ashy cartoons. That's what I thought.
Ashy. Lotion on them.
Ashy cartoons. You know what I'm saying? But that would have to be it. Naruto being my favorite and Dragon Ball being the most influential.
Kat, what about you?
That's a hard question, man. I hate answering that question because it might change over time. My favorite anime definitely changes over time. But if I had to go off a basis like Nogi and say what influenced me the most from a young age and what has kind of defined itself in my brain from a very young age, I'll have to go with Serial Experiments Lane. That's definitely what kind of the base of my anime fandom and the base of who I am as a person, and it will always have a special place in my heart. So I would say for all-time favorite, probably Serial Experiments Lane.
Okay.
And what about most influential?
Most influential, probably would go with Naruto. Probably, yeah, Naruto.
Okay.
Yeah. Naruto.
Yeah.
Is there a specific reason why Naruto, or?
Same reason as Nogi. I like it. I watch a lot more anime that's not necessarily shonen and popular, as you might or might not have dealt. Like, I watch it, but it's not my top tier.
Not your cup of
but
tea.
Naruto is my top tier shonen, actually, as well as One Piece. That I just thought about it, but for whatever reason, I don't see One Piece as a standard shonen. I don't know why. My brain doesn't put it in that kind of bracket. So probably One Piece, actually, for influential. I'm like, wait, that's a shonen. That's influential. Wait, what?
I've always wanted to like jump into the One Piece pool, but it's like what, 900 episodes right now?
Yeah.
And I feel like I'll be there for a long time.
You can read the manga. I mean, if you take out the opening and ending, an episode is roughly like 15 minutes.
Yeah. I should have done it during quarantine, but I dropped the ball on that.
I've been watching it since I was like 14. I've been watching it the whole time as it came out. I think
is that
one
like
of
the
the
longest
biggest
running anime at this point?
I think so, yeah. No, actually, Detective Conan is longer, isn't it?
I think so.
Detective is a lot.
I don't know.
I think Conan is longer.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
If it's longer than 900, I need some time.
Yo, for real.
I need some time.
It's really good though. It's well worth it. Well worth it, but it's a lot of time investment. A lot.
Phoenix, what about you?
Tough one to.
Yeah.
Because I've seen so much growing up, and there's even animes that I didn't even know what they were back when I was a wee lass. Because it's the little backside and story about me is the first thing I actually watched. It was on the Sci-Fi Channel back when anime aired on live TV, and the first thing I remember watching, this is gonna be a little graphic. I was under 10. I watched someone's hand get ripped out of their socket. As a kid, yeah. So to put that into perspective there. But I would say, like, yeah, I know. But to go into, like, what was, like, the early on, I mean, yes, I grew up with Toonami and whatnot, but I would have to go as far as possibly movie-wise. It would have to be one of the Miyazaki films, Princess Mononoke.
That's a big one.
That actually,
Definitely, yeah.
it was actually one of like the biggest because I didn't know because I watched DBZ beforehand. I watched the crap ton of Sailor Moon. I got into Outlaw Star. Fullmetal Alchemist, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, all that. But I think that one hit the feels just right with the tone of everything, because I saw that when I was a lot younger, and I think that set the pace of what kind of like how to perceive, not just like because female main actress and whatnot and everything. It just hit the feels right there, and the tone of the story just did it for me. But I would say like the thing that influences me now, if not like represents the kind of person I am, surprisingly, is probably RWBY. It's probably RWBY today. But as a kid, it's probably Princess Mononoke or Nausicaa Valley of the Wind. Those two.
Man, Nausicaa, that gave me the feels. That was feels. That and Grave of the Fireflies, holy shit. Holy shit.
Cannot watch out without crying.
So many tears. It was like a waterfall. I had a headache for days. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It's not an anime if it doesn't make you cry.
Yeah.
At least once.
Yeah.
Kareem, what about you?
My favorite you all know my favorite anime of all time is Samurai Champloo by Shinichiro Watanabe. He's amazing. He also wrote on he also directed or written Cowboy Bebop. But it was just it was my first anime I've ever seen, I've ever watched. Pulled me in, gave me a rambunctious side of Mugen, which is kind of the way I am, the way I act on stream, and the way I live my life, but also how smart I am with the gene side, and then gave me a sense of humility with the Fu side. So it had such a good mixture of characters and such amazing action scenes. But it wasn't even the action that got me to watch the anime. It was just loving the relationship between all of the characters, and then the adventures they go on and the stories they go on just to find Fu's dad, which is it just allowed it to open the door. And like the most essentials for me, I even have like they're tattooed on my body. Nagi's gonna get mad. But I got Goku right through, and then we have Demon Slayer on the inside, and then we have Samurai Champloo coming through to the back. And then we have a samurai mask here with, if you see closely, I have the Leaf Village symbol, and then we have the Sharingan, and then I have the Naruto stage mode mixed with the demon, demon side.
Dope.
So
I love it.
That's amazing.
Those are the most influential for me, and yeah, Samurai Champloo has to be my most favorite anime of all time, and the soundtrack is amazing. I'll say that 100 times over. The soundtrack is undeniable.
Samurai Champloo is fantastic.
Yeah, for me,
and there's only one season.
Sadly,
there should have been. I think there should have been more, but sometimes it's good to just have that one season where you're just like perfected the story, and you didn't need to do anything else other than sometimes. Mine for me would definitely be DBZ as the most influential, because I feel like that's the anime that a lot of people, at least in our age, like around our age, were watching, and that got them really into anime. Now, Dragon Ball definitely has its issues with pacing and story. It's not the most perfect, but in terms of like what people were into and watching, I definitely think it was probably the most influential anime. But in terms of my favorite, Fullmetal Alchemist actually for me was my favorite anime. That's the one I really started watching alongside Dragon Ball, and I felt like the story got me, and the depth that each character had, the fact that it wasn't just focused solely on just one character, but you had Mustang, who's like in my top 3 favorite anime characters, and I do like the fact that that's when you kind of got 2 animes in one, because when you had Fullmetal Alchemist, I think it was around episode 32, where the manga wasn't done yet, so they actually had to do like their own thing, and then you have Brotherhood, who at that point, the second season, episode 32 continues to what the manga was, so you kind of got 2 doses of something, which I thought was pretty cool. But Fullmetal Alchemist, I think for me, was definitely my favorite one.
What did you think of Brotherhood?
I thought Brotherhood was better than the regular one, because the manga was perfect. I love the fact that they had that, and the fight with Scar and the Fuhrer was one of my favorite fights. And Mustang really also, when he like obliterates envy and lust, Oh, that was good.
Is
too.
he your favorite character?
Mustang is like in my top 3 favorite characters.
Damn.
If I had to
you
choose,
look like a Mustang
I'm a
lover.
Mustang, bro. If I had to choose 3 characters, in anime that I like my favorite, it had to be Mustang, Shikamaru, and probably Jiraiya.
Fitting.
Calm and collected.
Yeah, calm and collected.
Yeah.
But I
Mad-
also like Minato. Minato Sensei.
Who's your favorite villain in Full Metal Alchemist?
That's a good question, actually. I'd say the person who did the villain justice, I would say, is Envy.
Envy.
Because he took Maze Hughes, which like totally catapulted Mustang into wanting to destroy him. But he also had a fault to him because he was just like, he hated humans, but he really wanted to be a human too. Like he hated the thing that he wanted to be the most.
Envy had the most fleshed out backstory for sure.
Yeah.
It felt like
100%.
the most fleshed out character.
So with that question, this will be the last one before we wrap up. What is your favorite villain in any anime and why? If anybody wants to start out. If anybody has one, do you know?
I need a little time.
That's really hard. It's a really hard question.
Well, the favorite. Well, okay. My favorite villain. Because if you're asking for a favorite villain, your favorite villain has to be one of 2 things, right? It has to be one that you really connect with, or one that really propels your character to the next level, your favorite character, right? So it's very easy to say Pain is like the best villain. I know somebody who would sit there and say that Orochimaru is the best villain. I'm like, how?
No, definitely not.
Nah.
I don't even consider him a villain, honestly. He's just a guy who does shit on the side.
He's just curious.
Yeah.
He's just a curious person at this point.
Yeah.
And he just wants to prolong his life because of his curiosity. But some people would say Pain or Nagato, right? But honestly, I would have to say that the only particular villain that I can think of that really brought like a sense of dread, the only villain that brought me to a level of, oh shit, my character might not make it. And then once he was defeated, I was like, whoo, baby. Like I was, you know what I'm saying? Like I thought that it was about to be all over. Would have to be Muscular. With Deku. It would have to be Muscular. Not even All Might and All For One. It would have to be Muscular, because Muscular, not only was that the first time that Deku fought someone by himself, Kota was the first person that he ever saved by himself. And then this was right during the time where he was 100% doubtful about his abilities. And he managed to pull it off. And he has never been able to achieve 1,000,000% since then. He's only been able to go to 100. So like Muscular is like the villain that really shook him to his unimaginable core. You know what I mean? And we can't even deny that fight. Like that fight was all my like that was Detroit.
Oh, bro, smash him through.
Like that was just Muscular. I have to give it to Muscular, because that was really like that fight in itself for the character, and as well for the entire story, was a very metaphorical character. To people like myself who visually see it as that, to some it's just like, oh, that was a cool fight. But to me, that was like, it was very strategic for that particular fight outcome and difficulty to come from someone who had the exact same power as Deku. You see what I'm saying? It was the exact same power.
Would Deku have been able to beat Chisaki without what's the little girl's name?
Eddie?
Yeah.
No.
He would have. He would have. Well,
No, he
Night
wouldn't
Eyes.
be able to.
Yeah, Night Eyes future thing would have came true, and he would have died.
At 100%, he would have probably did it, but he wasn't able to reach 100% at that time.
I mean, he did unlock the air step, because you wonder.
He did.
Y'all wonder why he's flying, and you're about to find out. I'm not gonna ruin anything, but he was flying during that fight, and you'll understand more while you go through. So.
Right.
He had a chance, but he wouldn't have a chance without breaking his legs, breaking his arms.
He would have definitely, there would have been more damage, which means that there would have been more possibility for him to fall. And Shisaki was already a master of his quirk, and he already had the advantage. If Deku would have approached that without Eddie protecting his limbs from being annihilated, then no.
I just want to say on a side note, I think the concert was one of the best not filler, but one of the best side episodes in any anime I've ever watched.
I was happy. I was singing. I was like, Hero 2. I was like, come on, man.
That fight between Deku and what you call it?
Gentle Criminal?
Gentle Criminal? That fight was low-key fire. That was
a good fight.
It was a good fight.
And it had one of the best speeches from Deku. Where he's talking about like everything that he does now is for the people because they all depend on him now.
Right.
So
even changed his heart. Changed the Gentle Criminal's heart. He remembered why he wanted to become a hero, and I think he still has a chance to.
I think so.
I mean, I don't think they turned him into the to jail. I think they just brought him in for questioning because Deku covered for him, and he didn't expect Deku to cover for him.
Right.
Deku's starting to have that Naruto effect where he's able to like change people's hearts by just talking to them.
Talk no jutsu?
Yeah, talk no jutsu. He did it to Nagato. He managed to get this dude to revive everybody pretty much.
That's almost every shonen main protagonist. They have to like make friends, and
Naruto perfected it though.
Power of friendship.
He did it to Obito too, right? He did it to a lot of people.
He did.
He did to everybody.
He did to Sasuke.
Sasuke fucking vomited a bird in his throat and said, I leave Sasuke to you. You're the only one I think can change his heart. It's like, bro, not the crow, bro, not the crow. This motherfucker is disgusting.
Who's next?
I got my answer. I was thinking about, because I'm usually the kind of person who likes the villains better than the heroes. I'm a villain type of person. I always try to look at the other side of the coin and understand what makes them be a villain. And a lot of the good animes, they have good stories on what makes a good villain. And, having that backstory of how you became a villain and being like kind of justified, I think that makes for a very good villain. And I wanted to find someone that has made me question my own views. To me, that's a good villain. And for me, that is from Psycho-Pass Season 1, Makishima. Yes. That is a villain that made me question myself. And if you can achieve that, to me, that's a perfect villain. That's everything I could want from a villain. I wouldn't watch that show if it wasn't for him. He was like the main character of the show. To me, he was the star of the show. He was so good. Such a good villain. Very intelligent. Very makes you think a lot.
I like that.
Who's next?
I'll go next. My favorite villain of all time is my boy Dio Brando. Okay? Dio. You know what I'm saying? Dio.
My guy, bro.
Even though in the second season they did him wrong by leaving him behind like a masquerade and only showed him in the end to only die, still, he's one of the most phenomenal villains, I think, because I can relate. You always want to relate to the villain. I can relate to what he went through. I can relate to Nagi's
What the shit, bro?
I can relate to how he grew up poor and he goes to Joseph Joestar and he's rich and he wants what he has, literally gets what he has, and then the time skips are just crazy, and you see the growth of how maniacal he actually is and how he uses everybody to get what he wants, even like full on when he becomes a vampire. Like at that point he still uses people, which is crazy. He doesn't switch up. He just has buff powers. Like his body just basically expanded into some crazy ass overstrength body. But he's just my favorite villain of all time.
He wants everything.
Yeah.
All the things.
Yep. Wants the world. The world.
The
world. Y'all are annoying.
I love JoJo. This is how much I love it.
That ass happy. You be playing that shit every single time, bro. We be doing strikes, bro, and we all wipe, and this motherfucker plays that shit.
Love it. Phoenix, what about you?
That's one of the probably hardest questions I've ever been asked. And it's, oh God. Oh god, I might get flack for a couple of these ideas.
I'm
At
curious
the top,
now.
at the top of my head, this character, I was actually curious about how influential this character is. The one thing, for now, because I personally don't think this is like the most top one that I would consider like my favorite villain, but this is a villain that can never get out of my head because this villain never is always in the back of this main character's head, because from the beginning this character literally like took the main character like as his own right hand, and that influenced the whole story about what happened. But when they find out about what happens to this character, what he becomes, the main hero finds out what he becomes, it just it was a warning sign, but it was writing on the wall, but it was ignored. And then when they finally like broke it off and the dude lost control over the main hero or his right hand, that's when it started to spiral downward. That's why I was like, I don't know about that. But then when I watched the moment where he literally like was revealed as, and he didn't even know until he was revealed as the main villain. Not only did he take all this guy's best friends, but he ravaged the woman this guy loved in front of him while being held down, by the way. And this guy literally stays alive through the whole series.
I think
Sounds
The
brutal.
character I'm referencing
He's alive through the whole
I know
series.
who it is. I know who it is. Can I
is
say?
Griffith. Is Griffith.
Yeah.
Literally takes everything and sacrifices it in front of Guts, and he
Such
literally
a good villain.
This is Berserk,
takes
right?
it with him.
Berserk?
This is Berserk.
Yeah.
It's literally like, I don't think many other villains aside from the one from Monster hit me that deep. When you literally see everything stripped from you and you watch it happen and there's nothing, and you can see why he is literally the Black Swordsman. And he's still not dead. He's still like, there is so much that still happens in the books. Like, I can't even tell you half the shit that happens. Like, it blows my mind. Like, literally, the Band of the Hawk, gone. Oh, dude, oh my god, like, you need to just read, instead of watching it, read it.
I haven't watched it yet. Now I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, me
I
either.
haven't, or I read it. I'll read it first.
Yeah.
Read
It is
it,
brutal.
watch it. It is, and it literally will not hold your hand. It will. You thought Goblin Slayer was bad?
Work is worse.
It's worse. It's much worse. There's. Oh my god! But that's one of my absolute favorites. Like I was thinking about now. Honestly, if I think about it, it didn't really influence me as a kid, but it's one of my absolute favorite animes to this day, and I love reading because it's still not It's still not done. It's still going to
Still
this
not
day.
done.
The books. And but I will say, like, that's one of the reasons why I love it, because that villain right there, like, I don't feel hate for many characters, but he is one of the ones that I feel so strongly against and so angry and like so obsessed with the main character that literally he has to battle physically his own demons to get to this guy. And he's like this is Guts, this is Griffith, he will never, like, he's still trying to get there, and he's still like,
Never gonna do it.
bro, oh my god, I recommend it if you're okay with stomaching like the grittiness of the anime, and it will hold no punches, just like what Nogi said with the anime he recommended. That's why I love it so much, because bro, in that situation, I get it. Not all and I say this because not all humans are perfect, and I will definitely say, like, this definitely touches on bases that it'll never air in America. It'll never air live on TV. But I will say that villain right there, like, there's a reason why me and one of my mod friendos, like, we go back and forth when he says Griffith did nothing wrong. Oh my god, he knows how much it triggers me. It triggers me to the foundation. And he will send gifts, and I'm just like, bro. But yes, like, I recommend, if you want something like there's a reason why Guts is one of my absolute favorite main characters, along with Goblin Slayer, because they're so similar in their own senses. But I think Guts will always be like my number one. If you guys haven't, please, I recommend Berserk. Please.
Yeah, I definitely.
I'll watch it. And then I'm gonna spam you in the DMs.
Please spam me,
Griffith did nothing wrong.
and then you will feel my pain. You will feel. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
I think every great anime needs obviously a great villain. For me, I didn't hate this character, but I thought he started off justified in what he was trying to do, and I think this is, like, obviously, I like Madara. It's a great villain. I love Pain. Chisaki, all great villains. But for me, I think Light is probably the best villain. Who's also
Like
the main
Yagami?
who's also the main
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
I think
That's
for
a very
me,
good one.
Yeah, that's like the pinnacle. Because you want a villain that you can kind of relate to in some kind of aspect. And he had like a good mentality of what he was trying to do. He just like went down this whole rabbit hole and just got consumed. But I think like for me that's the pinnacle of like villains. Pain also. Pain is there. But Pain is
Pain
just
also.
like
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, you're gonna get some Pain love. I know it's coming.
Pain is I think the best Naruto villain with a Madara right there too. I don't like
I would put Madara second as well.
yeah,
Madara's up there, yeah.
I don't like
Really?
Kaguya. Kaguya I think was like the worst villain.
Kaguya shouldn't even have been there.
Yeah, that was
She
like
I don't
was
think that
very,
shouldn't even
like-
exist. I know it's set up Boruto, but I think they could have went a totally
Very
different way with
forced.
the whole anime.
they should have went
but-
so Madara should have been like the pinnacle, and then that's Madara and Obito should have been the pinnacle, and that's it.
Yeah,
But when they
that would
brought,
have
they
been a
brought this,
fantastic.
yeah, they
ending.
brought her out of nowhere, and that was just like nope.
That was a
Completely, like,
big
messed it up.
twist. They took a big gamble with that twist. It was a huge twist.
and it didn't.
I liked it, but then I didn't like it. If that made sense, when she was freezing time and going through dimensions and all, I was like, oh, just end.
Yeah.
I was like, just get to the Naruto Sasuke, please.
Well, that's what it was. Sasuke was supposed to be the end goal, so he was technically the villain. But I never cared for him as a villain. I was just like, yeah, this is just this kid who's just angry at the world.
Yeah.
So, but I just want to say I appreciate you all for coming on. Love you
No
guys.
problem, man.
Thank
My
you.
fellow weebs.
You know what I'm saying? I have to come through for the gang, you know?
Gang.
So in
gang.
in the filler fashion, we always like to shout out a person. Yeah, it could be somebody in your life, somebody in the community, a fellow streamer, whatever you want to do. I'll start off, and then we'll go in order. So Kat, Phoenix, and Cream. My shout out this week is going to be from my dad, because he is the reason I even started watching anime, because he's the one who put me on to Dragon Ball and would record the shows for me at all times. So yeah, I would say my dad for putting me on to anime. So Kat, if you want to go next. Kat just messaged me. Oh, okay, she got technical issues. So Phoenix, if you want to go real quick.
So it's tough for me to say. Like I could shout out like all the best fam of Mixer, all the friendos I met over there, but I would say like the most influential thing when it comes to anime, because of through a tough time where I was transitioning to come to Florida for the first time in middle school, and I was in an awkward time, and I had no friends. I think shout out to one of my best friends IRL. I'm gonna call them V for victory, I guess in this case. But they've been my best friend for a long time, and they've been with me through these struggles, and they introduced me to such good anime. Even the most out there anime. And I say I got to give them this big shout out. They're actually a personal IRL friend of mine. I've known them for years, and we've both been through thick and thin together. She's like one of my besties IRL that I haven't had a chance to connect to recently, but big shout out to this person right here. She and her fam like practically took me in like a daughter. And I've literally been to the Seychelles. It's a beautiful place. If you ever get the funds, please go there. It's and the food's amazing. That's love of curry came from there too. But this person that goes by V, my best friend IRL, she is like one of the biggest people that got me into manga, into anime, and a lot more Sailor Moon when I really that's when I really fell in love with the series, because she got me into the books and everything. So I gotta give her a big shout out for that, for influencing my life in anime a lot more. Because it was a time where it was tough for me to get into that because of my own personal reasons. But
Yeah.
I gotta give her, this is for her. Like, if you're ever watching this, dude, like, you know who you are. Like, no matter where you go, dude. And I love your face.
Oh,
I
I
love
can
it.
hear you now, by the way.
cool. Did you hear
Sorry,
what the question
unplugged.
was, or?
No.
Well, not really a question. We're just doing the shout outs now. So if you
Oh,
wanna
the shout outs.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Can I ask just one quick question to Fee?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Sailor Scout?
Oh, gosh. I might get flack for it. Amy. Mercury.
Kat, you look disappointed after that.
But I like Jupiter because she's spicy.
Jupiter is my top tier waifu.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely. top tier
like
waifu.
Like I said, Jupiter, it will always be my absolute favorite because I relate to her. But waifu will be Amy. But I still love Jupiter. Fuck yeah.
Fair. That's a fair answer.
Yes. Usagi, okay.
All right, so Cap, you wanna do the shout out? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll shout out. I was gonna say my bro, my sis, my sis, Brofish, because she's a bro. I'll always shout out Brofish. She's my work waifu. She's not that much into anime. She's seen some anime, but she needs some culture. So go give her some culture. Go tell her how to get cultured.
We'll treat them all.
Yeah.
We should recommend the first one. We should recommend is the one that Nagi said.
Yeah,
exactly.
Throw
her in the deep end. Throw her in the deep end.
Cushy? Something
Yes.
cushy?
We should start with that. Yes, I think she would appreciate
Mushi?
Tokumushi. Hey, Brofish, read this.
Ah, God. Do it, Brofish.
Do it, Brofish. Do it.
All right, Kareem.
This is gonna sound arrogant as hell, but just to hit her first couple, I want to thank my mother for being the strong, powerful woman that she is, for raising me by herself. She's phenomenal. My girlfriend who got me to my career or where I am today. And then I want to thank myself because nobody put me on an anime. I chose to not go out and do what my brothers do, which is not very nice. And I sit in the house and I watch anime, and it kept me out of a lot of trouble, and it saved my fucking life. So,
goddamn,
that's it.
Love it.
Amen.
God
Beautiful.
Right.
Love it.
God damn, you son of a bitch! I'm in.
All right, Nagi.
It's the same shout out, bro. Boma, baby. Listen. Boma, I love you. You're an amazing human being. It's always going to be you, no matter what. No, every single shout out is going to be you, because even though I didn't have anybody put me on the anime, even though I didn't have anybody to put me on the comic books, those were 100% my choices. Even though I didn't have anybody to influence me to play video games, I just like Kareem, that's a lie. I did those. I was out there, but I decided to, one day, just instead of going outside, I wanted to play, Super Mario Sunshine, and then it was curtains from there, and SSX Tricky, and Nintendo GameCube, and X, Y, and Z, fucking Super Nintendo, and N64, Crash Bandicoot, 007,
GoldenEye.
But it's just it would have to be Boma, because if it wasn't for Boma, since we're talking about anime, I wouldn't be able to be having these conversations with you guys about anime. I wouldn't be able to experience Gods of High School, or see Vegeta experience what he's experiencing in the manga, and finally get some sense of relief for my guy, because he's out here putting in the Lord's work. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be able to experience that. So always will be Boma, through thick and thin, through and through. Every single shout out will always slide right back to her, because I wouldn't be here to be able to even have this topic of conversation.
Smile.
That smile. $1 million smile. So I want to thank you guys again for stopping by. Appreciate y'all. For anybody who didn't get to catch the whole conversation, you can catch this live. Catch this tomorrow on YouTube around 12 p.m. Eastern time. You can follow these amazing people. I'm going to post their links one more time here. Yep. Make sure to give these amazing content creators a follow. They're streaming most of the time. I think I always see you guys online. So
9-hour days.
9 hours.
9 hour days.
Yeah,
9 hour days. I'm sweating.
We will be live on the filler next week, next Thursday. We have another big episode. Got some special guests we'll announce on Monday. And yeah, just want to thank you all for passing by. We're gonna bring the love over. If it's okay with you guys, I want to bring it over to Addie right now, who's actually pushing for partner. She's just live right now, so let's go show her the love, and let's get her those numbers so we can she can get that partnership.
Give that love.
All right, can I play us out with the JoJo?
Do it.
Yes.
Do it, bro.
Yes.
I can't stand her. I can't stand her. was actually pretty dope.
That was good. That was good.
That was good. That was a good closeout.
Oh my god, Fia, I want to show
Gotcha.
you something.